undistractedness. Because in these changing times, conventional perspective, right now we're in particularly changeful times, uncertain times. All times are uncertain. It suddenly becomes apparent to people that what they're seeking is some form of stability. Because when all these false structures, all these temporary structures fool us into believing that we are somehow stable because we have health insurance, or because we have a pension waiting for us, or because the government loves us, or because it's safe to travel all across the world. And suddenly with the lockdowns and mixed messages and all that, and people panicking, it suddenly becomes obvious that what we relied on so much is not actually that reliable at all. And this is just the beginning stages of that being exposed and revealed. The fact that external means are never fully reliable. And it's so obvious when you think about it, but we just kind of shrug it off and don't look at it until either we're about to die, or we come down with illness, or the world starts panicking, or our lives are restricted, our external lives are suddenly restricted or quarantined. And so it becomes obvious that there is a need for true stability, for true clarity, for true understanding of what is reliable. So this is really just a symbolic topic for an everyday topic, which should ideally be an everyday topic for everyday people. And that is the question into true reliability, true stability, true unflinching, undistracted, unperturbedness. So what is that? I mean, those of you who've been following my channels for a while already know the obvious answers, but still consider experientially what you have to truly rely on, what never changes. Not only does it never change, but it's actually the source of all well-being. It's the source of all peace, ease, clarity, insight, intuition, skillful means. And so we have to look at the common denominator in each experience. If we're looking for the topic of undistractedness and stability and reliability, then we must seek for something. We must search in our direct experience for something that does not leave us ever. Because wouldn't that be the ultimate stability? So what is that? What is the common denominator in each and every experience you've ever had? What's watching this video right now? What is that? Can you put your finger on it? Can you call it by a name? And even if you call it by a name, does it change? Are you not the common denominator in every experience? Whatever this you is, before you label it, before words come into the picture, before pictures come into the picture, are you not the common denominator? Are you, or something about you, something of you, something within you, if you will, is it not always there, reliably so? You know, we look in the mirror at the age of 8. We look at the mirror in the mirror at the age of 14. We see our body has changed, our voice changed, our circumstances and relationships changed, our thinking has changed. Then we look in the mirror at the age of 18. Again, we perceive change. We look in the mirror today. Again, form has changed, story has changed, experience has changed, but direct experience itself has not changed. It is like direct experience itself is actually existent in a timeless type of state or place, like a timeless eternal now space within which all the changing thoughts and forms come and go, come and go, come and go, come and go. And why, if you are the common denominator, the eternal changeless principle throughout every experience and perception, if that is you, why be so reliant on things that are not you? Why seek for safety in maintaining a certain type of shape, form, color, size, duration of particular elements within your overall experience? Why not just rely on the wide open basic state, wide open ever-present space or state of you-ness? Why not rely on you? Why not come into that cool, loving, nourishing shade of self instead of always go out there chasing this arid desert of the empty promise of the senses? Why chase and seek for stability in that which is bound to disappear, and then shrug it off or not look at it directly? Why not look at the facts? You're going to die. You're not always going to feel very good, physically, mentally, emotionally. The world's not stable, that's obvious. Information is not reliable, that's obvious. Other people are not reliable, that's obvious. So why not rely on you? Why not deepen your direct experience of the eternal principle, of that ever-present, timeless state which is ever hiding in plain sight. And it's so obviously here, listening to my voice, watching my face, right now, in you, comprehending your entire experience all at once without you having to apply any mental effort to do so. You are already fully, completely, wide openly aware, inescapably aware, inescapably existent, present to this experience of watching this video, hearing my voice, feeling your body, sitting in the chair, wherever you are. You're already wide openly, ever presently aware of whatever is occurring. And this is the gateway into, as I like to call it, the God state, which is often described as Sat Chit Ananda, or consciousness, beingness, or existence and bliss, truth, awareness, and love light. Sounds again like some sort of fairy tale to most people's minds. But when we remove the layers of the mind, the veils that we have placed over our innately, inescapably infinite, limitless beingness, then, my friends, we begin to come home once again. And we discover what is truly reliable and already ever undistracted, already never fooled by the appearances that come and go. You are an eternal entityness, being. Nothing could ever possibly happen to you. You have my word, but find out for yourself, because otherwise it's not going to replenish you, satisfy you, realign you, heal you, nourish you, welcome you home. I can only extend the invitation through this temporary body, through your temporary body. But the principle from which I speak within myself, to which I intend to speak and instruct within you, is the same principle. I am talking to myself through this telephone, connecting to your telephone mobile device. But the truth here is recognizing itself. The true existence here is listening to itself speak through these words. And that is you. I am the way, meaning I am is the way. The I am in you is the way, is the gateway into the God state and beyond. So, I've often in the past used the analogy of the windshield wipers, as well as, I haven't used this one in a while, but I will use it for this video. The reflection in the window analogy, something like that. I forgot what I call it, but the first being the windshield wiper analogy. If you perceive when you're driving a car and it's pouring rain out and you turn your windshield wipers to max speed, does this distract you from the road? It doesn't, does it? And if anything, it helps you focus more. Catalyst, change, disruptive movements, they wake you up more, make you more undistracted if you learn how to pay attention. So when you're driving and it's raining and your windshield wipers are going crazy right in front of your vision, right? They're in between you and the road, but they don't distract you. You don't follow the movements of the windshield wipers. You pierce straight through. You look straight through the surface, beyond the surface, and you focus on what it is you need to focus on, in this case, the road. So you remain undistracted by the appearances, by the movement of the windshield wipers. You can apply this to your own life. See every thought you have, every emotion, every belief system that gets triggered, every circumstantial event, place, thing, time, person, information, data point, point of view, perception, experience. See them all as appearances, like windshield wipers, in front of your vision, trying to fool you, trying to distract you from what you are. They're actually, the true purpose behind these appearances is to help wake you up. But it helps sometimes to see them as distractions that try to fool you, even though they are your friends, because their purpose is to help you wake up to your true self. However, on a practical note or level, it helps to see them as distractions. But they are friends. Don't diminish anything, but use them as distractions. It helps you become more undistracted. So thoughts and emotions come and go, and they are like this. But just because they go like this doesn't mean you have to go like this along with them. You can remain undistracted, become aware of the fact that there's a wide open, spacious, basic awareness timelessly here, and become more rooted in that undistractedness. See through the smoke. Smoke and mirrors, my friends. This world is smoke and mirrors. The world of the senses is smoke and mirrors. Your true nature is the source of all well-being, and it's ever here, always accessible. I would love for you to tap into that, to set yourselves free. The other analogy is that of the reflection in the window. Let's say you're on a shopping street and you pause in front of a certain store because you're interested in what they have to sell. Now, there's something in the window, like a mannequin that's wearing the clothes that you are interested in buying, the brand that you're interested in. Or perhaps there's jewelry right behind the window, like a bunch of watches that you're interested in. So you look at the watches and you're fooled, you're distracted. And what you see is the form, what you see is the shape. What you see is what's behind the window, but there's a window between you and the object. In a very similar sense, every experience you've ever had or ever will have is like a piece of jewelry behind a piece of glass. And there's a trick to getting to know yourself more directly. And that is, instead of, imagine standing in front of that window with the jewelry behind it that you like, and suddenly for a split second, you wake up to the fact, you take a step back, you zoom out a little bit, and now instead of seeing the jewelry behind the glass, you notice your own face being reflected in the window. It's like that shift of like, oh, wait a second, I am here, I'm standing right here. And because of me standing here, I can even see the jewelry. Without me standing here, I couldn't see the jewelry. But I forgot about myself. I didn't see myself reflected in the window. I looked through the window and I was fooled by whatever is behind the window. The form, the shape, the changes, the windshield wipers, the thoughts, the emotions, the beliefs, the promise of pleasure in the senses. Nothing wrong with pleasure, by the way, but the promise of pleasure in senses is what distracts us from our true well-being, our true peace, our true reliable stability. And so every experience can be looked at in two different ways. One is we can define and describe and get lost in all kinds of descriptions, descriptive frameworks about what we are seeing, the form, the shape, the size, the meaning of it, etc. Or we can turn that experience around, so to speak, or use it as a mirror and see ourselves confirmed, affirmed in the presence of that form, shape, size, duration, meaning, whatever it is. And so every story that we have, every experience that we have can perform double duty, so to speak. It can distract us or it can remind us of who it is that we are. And all that's required is a shift in attention from the objects to the self that's watching the objects. And then again, our undistractedness begins to grow and the inner stream of self-nourishment, self-soothing well-being increases by the day, by the exercise, by the moment. Every time we practice, we strengthen our ability to let in that which we already are, to see, to recognize that which is always here. We increase our ability to see through the smoke and to use everything as a mirror. Smoke and mirror, my friends. Smoke and mirrors. Rely on that which is true. If it comes and goes, it cannot be ultimately true. Search for that within your direct experience, which never changes, which never comes and never goes. And you will transcend, ultimately, thoughts and emotions and even death. The illusion of death will be transcended through your direct experience. I love you very much. I hope you find this stability within yourself appealing enough to spend some time with it more every day. Befriend the natural state of ever-present, wide open, sky-like, pristine, stainless freedom that's already here, listening to my voice right now. Merge in that, rest in that, become absorbed, reliant on that friend which is ever here for you. Much love.